Great. I think I fixed the problem. So, this has been an interesting week. uh, no, grown men talking about taking kids to new beaches and people's families getting contacted. Then we have Wana Morris of Boys and Men talking about how he was uh, he had relations with Brandy, quote unquote. Now, before Brandy came out with a book talking about her relations with Wynonna Morris and how he manipulated her into a relationship. Yeah, so I don't know what I don't know why guys think that you can just talk about anything. They put a mic on their face. They have a channel that gets a following, and they think that you could just talk about anything on it because I don't know, women support you, you're R&B star. I'm like, no. There are conversations that you as a man can never have. You can't have a conversation about messing with a teenager. I don't care how old. If you wasn't a teenager yourself when that shit happened, bro, don't have that conversation. You should be that should be taken to the grave. It's like because that's going to come back to bite you in the ass, and it's going to come back and bite him in the ass. Now, how much damage it's going to do to you know to him career wise, I don't know. But again, he wouldn't be in this position if he just kept his fucking mouth shut. I don't know what prompted him. I think he was on a podcast. I don't know what prompted him to even talk about his relationship with Brandy. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea. I mean, get controversy, drama. I don't know, bragging. I don't know. But I would, if it was anything other than a musical relationship, this was a time for you to be like, no comment. Anytime you are asked, it's no comment. No comment. Oh, so we heard that you was in a relationship with Brandy. Yeah, it was only music. Uh, I anything else? No comment. Should be no comment. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what she talking about. No comment, and that's it. No comment. If they can't prove it, it's her word versus his. They're gonna believe. They're probably gonna believe her anyway. Although there's a lot of people kind of against her because of the whole fact that she lied about her and her ex-husband being married while she was pregnant. Then the whole thing where she killed somebody in an accident and kind of wouldn't take accountability for that to the book. So it's kind of like, yeah. So they're not. It's not like they're totally on her side, but still, I will not be told ever. No comment, no comment, no comment. I will not talk about anything other than we had a business arrangement. I helped her out with the singing. That's about it. Now I kind of listened to part of this from Super Slide, and she was talking about how he was telling her, singing was kind of off and low, like her voice was not where it needed to be. It and to me, besides the sexual stuff in the relationship, looked like he was trying to help her get to another level, and she just took it the wrong way. She thought he was putting her down when actually he's trying to help her get to the next level. I mean, let's face it, he's part of the multi-platinum group of Boys and Men. He was popping at the time. I think I would take what he say into consideration. But as far as the relationship part, that I mean, brother, you should never said anything. You should have kept that. It's like this is why dudes get themselves fucked over, especially older men. If you are even able to pull off getting into a relationship with a younger woman, I mean, 18 and under, you probably shouldn't. More likely, you shouldn't. But if you're gonna do that, man, keep your mouth shut. Now, if you were un, it, back in the day, if you were still considered adult, and that girl was a teenager, and you were able to get that, what would behoove you to go tell anybody? That's to the grave. That would be you wouldn't try that from my deadheads. You gonna have to go get some proof. And even if she said, yeah, it happened, I'd be like, no, it didn't. I got no comment. Gotta prove that one. Where the text? Where letters? Where anything like that? Until they had that out, hey, they gonna believe her anyway. Most women gonna believe her, but you don't need to confirm and like make that a mystery. But this dude came out literally all but confirmed that they had a relationship. It's like, well, brother, what are you doing? What was the idea behind this? Were you bragging or you thought this would make you look cool? I'm like, no, no. That was one you take to the grave. Let her go come out with a she would have to come out with that book. And then I'll be like, no comment. It'll be her word versus yours. But at least if you ain't confirming nothing, it's still gonna stay her word versus his. I mean, so it just that man, why would you think to do that? Especially in this era of the Epsteins, the R. Kellys of the world. Why would you even entertain it? That's like when Glenn Cameron talking about he was sleeping with a 16-year-old to do as a experiment. Why the fuck would you do that shit? Why would you willfully want to be known as a pedo? Never mind, at that time when he did it, this when R. Kelly was either going through trial or had just got convicted. Why the fuck would you think that's a good idea? And then wonder why he got the blowback he got. And that recently came up. See how that stuff would come back to bite you? Because new people coming in, listening to him, like, whoa, what the fuck is this? You talking about sleeping with a teenager? What? So he got mad at uh, the lead attorney and Anton, and I'm like, dude, what was they supposed to do? Beg you up? And then you want to turn around and say it was an experiment? Like, what the fuck? Who experiments like this? Like, what the fuck was wrong with you? Can't co-sign this shit. Can't co-sign this idea. So which brought up the consent thing. And again, that's not a conversation to have on social media. Now, logically speaking, and this is just logically, that conversation needs to be had, especially for young men, especially somebody should have had that with Wayna Morris about, hey, once you get out of high school, none of those girls are for you. I don't care. I don't care if she in the industry. No, they're not for you. This could come back to bite you in the ass. Because all that parent got to do is go see the cops, and guess what? Now you have you are a registered sex offender. Good luck with that. Good luck trying to get a house. Good luck trying to good luck doing anything productive. It's gonna be a hard road for you. And plus people be looking that shit up every day and they find out you're a sexual offender. Yeah, they come to see you and not to talk. Like, why even have this conversation? Again, when it comes to children, anything that can lead to sex, that's not a conversation to have. Nobody's trying to hear the logic in the consent law. Yes, the consent law should be talked about, but you don't bring that to social media because you know what's going to look like. You want to sleep with young girls, and you know who also want to sleep with young girls? Pedos. You don't want. You don't even want to have the aura of that around you. You remember when Melissa Ford was trying to insinuate that Cameron was messing with young girls because they went to brothels, and you saw how hard Cam came hard after her and after one of the guys because he was kind of low key supporting her. Yeah, you don't want that tag on you for any reason. That's not a good tag that you can recover from. So why on God's earth would you want anybody to even think that you would swing that way, be that way? That's not a conversation to have on social media. Consent laws, marrying young girls, even dating young girls as a man, these are not conversations to have on social media. There are too many people with daughters. You got too many men with daughters out here. You can't have that conversation. Ever. That's not a conversation to have. Which leads me to what happened with Sharon. So last week they talked about the Houston rodeo having a dress code because there were too many cheeks coming out in the wrong times. Too many ass, too much cheeks, and then they had a whole fight that Saturday. I was supposed to go down to the rodeo do Ubering. I was like, nah, I'm staying home. Thank God. Jesus Christ. I could be about the headache that I would have to deal with. It's already a headache as an Uber driver going to the rodeo. You got to sit there for an hour. If you don't come early, you're going to be sitting there an hour just waiting to pick up your person. If they be in the right spot. Because if they ain't in the right spot, then you have to find them. Which leads to more waiting. I'm like, if I gotta sit here for a fucking hour just to get a $30 ride, I bet I want to see some ass titties. Sorry. Anybody got a problem with that? I'm sorry. I'm sitting here. I need some type of entertainment. God damn it! If the women want to come out with the ass titties, well, hey, bring the ass titties out. I know I'm sounding a little perverted, but the point I'm trying to make with all this is like I wouldn't have a problem with it. The problem is there are a lot of parents who had a problem with this, and I'm gonna say this to anybody, male, female, especially males. When we're talking about children's safety and not being exposed to what could be considered lead to sexual uh, exposure to children, women's body, autonomy, nobody's going to give a fuck about. Nobody trying to hear that. The Houston Rodeo Show didn't. They told them women, cover up or you ain't coming in. They ain't trying to hear, well, I can wear what I want. Yeah, you can wear whatever you want, but you ain't going to wear it here. Too many y'all want to have your ass and titties out in front of kids. Parents complain. Not here. We don't want to turn this into a fucking hooker fest. Hell no. What you think this is, a rap concert? Nah, y'all got to cover this shit up. Tighten up. And so that brought up a debate about women dressing. And of course, on Sharon, women get to say whatever. So PH Diva brought up the whole fact of the new beaches. They allow kids to go to new beaches. Again, that's not a conversation you want to have, especially with the whole Epstein thing that's going on. There's big fight for the Epstein files to find out who was over there at Epstein Island messing with these young girls and young boys. The last thing you want to discuss is a new beach with a child. Now, the conversation is not in itself bad given the context. They're trying to say, well, kids wouldn't be affected by seeing as kids, little kids. I get that. But just like I said before, women autonomy takes a backseat to any potential kids being exposed to any type of sexual shit. Your autonomy means nothing when parents are concerned about kids seeing shit they shouldn't see. Don't believe me? How many teachers who were showing way too much skin got fired? How many women who was doing porn and also males who were doing porn got fired? They got fired. They got them the fuck up out of there, out of school. Your autonomy means absolutely nothing. When parents are worried about their kids exposing to any type of sexual shit, nobody's gonna care. With the body, it's not sexual. No parent is trying to hear that. Because if you think that's gonna fly, let me tell you something. Try going to a fucking park nude and see what happens to you. Either you're gonna get your ass whipped, you're gonna get the cops called, and you may go to a psych ward or you're going to jail. Again, how many teachers have been fired because they're showing too much? Parents calling the school, hey, this woman need to cover up, she need to get fired. Hey, this woman naked pictures got out there. She need to go. Your autonomy means nothing when students are involved. They don't give a fuck. Which is why this nudist beach conversation should have been stopped. Sharon should have stopped it. But he didn't. Because he wanted to help the women win an argument. An argument, which that part of the argument, women autonomy, men shouldn't be having anyway. That is a non-starter. Because at the end of the day, how are you going to stop these women from dressing how they dress? How? How are you going to do that? It's just like when Sierra came out with the see-through. I said then, would I let my wife go to a award ceremony in a see-through dress? No, I would. No, the fuck I wouldn't. Would I take it someplace where that would be okay? Absolutely, but it wouldn't be in public. But I also said her husband was right there, and if he ain't got a problem with it, I don't have a problem with it. He's a simp. Okay, go tell that to his face. I bet you are not gonna do it. But again, if the women are not with man or the husband's there, they can wear whatever. But if there was kids around, oh, that would not be happening. Because parents would have lit that woman up. The award ceremony would have been lit up. Oh, we having naked women around kids? Oh, hell no, we ain't about to do that. And that new beach argument, none of that gonna fly. When you got parents, look at the Houston rodeo. Look how many teachers have been fired for showing too much skin. Women's autonomy means absolutely nothing when there's potential risk of children being exposed to sexually things. Hell, these women can't even twerk on kids without people calling CPS on them. And that, oh, this is an African dance? Nobody trying to hear that shit. Nobody's trying to hear that. Because one, this is not the culture. Just like the nudist speech. That was never meant to be on YouTube. If you're not part of that culture, you have no reason to discuss that. Especially to win a stupid argument that doesn't need to be here. Listen, women autonomy means nothing over children. Safety and not seeing shit they shouldn't see. It don't fucking matter. Yes, a lot of it is emotional, a lot of it is illogical, but guess what? When it comes to people's kids, parents are going to be illogical and emotional. There's nothing you're gonna be able to do that. You can cry about that shit till you're blue in the face. It's just like the consent thing, the consent laws and all that. You can argue that from an intellectual standpoint. These parents are not going to give a fuck. They are not going to let you, unless there's some money involved or celebrities, chance for some money involved or a chance for fame, which brings us back to Brandy and Wynell Morris. People will sell their kids out for that, yes. But most people are not going to go to a nudist speech with their children. Most people are not going to let a woman be around them, half naked or naked, if they can't help it. They're just not going to. They're not going to do it. They're not going to let no woman showing a whole bunch of skin at the school without bitching or get her fired. Women autonomy means nothing towards children. Sorry. So when Sharon was trying to talk about the new beaches, which he of all people shouldn't even bring up, you're a man. The women can kind of get away with it. But you're a man. You are a man. You're a grown man. Just like the men was having the conversation about the consent. No, you can't have that conversation at all. So as a man, you definitely can't have a conversation about new beaches. Because the reason why is because, okay, they can kind of accept the women, but not as much. But they damn not going to accept a man with a penis. Because a penis will always represent sexual activity, no matter what. Because a penis get hard, he is at most times thinking about sex. Unless he's up in the morning, usually they get hard they have to pee. But for the most part, if they see a man penis hard, he's thinking about sexual activity. And it's pointing at a child, somebody's gonna think, oh, you want to fuck this child. You must be a fucking pedo. These men can't even express, hey, I don't want to see a girl half naked or kids naked without somebody saying, he a pedo. He must be thinking sexual. Matter of fact, there was a guy on Instagram. I'm 6'7". He's a black man. He do social commentary on things. He stands up for women. Okay? But he's fair, unlike Sharon. He had expressed that he was not comfortable bathing his daughter. He got over it, but at the time he wasn't comfortable with it. There were women dragging him, thinking about, oh, well, you was thinking about sex. You were thinking about having sex with your daughter. And I'm like, could it be because she has a vagina and he has a penis that he might not be comfortable because he don't know what a vagina is? And of course the women like, well, y'all know how to fuck it, but you don't know how to take care of it. Yes, that is true. Yes. Because I don't have a vagina. And here's the thing. Vagina and penis are two different things. A penis basically is like a clit, with skin on around it, right? Easy to clean, and it has more protection. Whereas the vagina does not. It's a hole. Anything can get in there and cause an infection. It don't even have to be semen. It could be soap. It could be some cream or something. The vagina can get infected. So I can understand him being like, nah, I'm not comfortable with this. So I don't want to cause her a problem. Now he got over it, but I can understand why he would think that. I kind of think that too when I was married. My wife was having her period and all that. I had to learn about stuff like that about the vagina and what can cause yeast infections and all that. And it don't have to be sperm. It could be other things causing irritation and everything. But most people, when men even express concern, they think sexual. Oh, he's just uncomfortable because he's think he's sexual. He wants to fuck the kid, and like maybe he just don't want to see a fucking naked girl. Not because it's just not appropriate, but So with all that going on, why again you as a man who want to have a conversation about new beaches? That is not something you need to be bringing up at all. So of course, when one of the guys he was debating with asked him, "Well, would you take your kid to a new beach?" He said yes. And I'm like, "What? What the fuck? Why would you even say that shit?" Now, me, I wouldn't care if you take your kids to a new beach because, like I said, I've been to swinger clubs. Uh, I've been to a new park, and I understand that there's a lot of security there. There, people gonna immediately think naked people, orgies going on. No, usually none of that's happening. They got a lot of security there to make sure nothing going on. But here's the problem: the reason why they have security there because to prevent stuff from going on that shouldn't. Usually sex, because if you got dick and vagina around, yeah, you can say, "Oh, nah, that don't happen here." It's like, no, yes, they would try it. That's why they have the security. And if you think the pedos ain't over there at the new beaches, you're crazy. That's why they have security, so nothing will go on. Duh. So again, it's like, Sharon, why the fuck do you have that conversation? That's not a conversation you want to have. As a man, you don't want to have that conversation. So of course, after that, and then he doubled down. Yes, I would. Yes, I don't see a problem with it. Like, bro, you're burying yourself deep, 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 deep within the earth. So of course, somebody after that, and I guess he got into it with Easy Bands, and then his cousin got into it. It turned into a big mess. So after that, his cousin confronted him and said that was not the best thing to do. Which I would have told him, bro, that's not a good idea. That was not a conversation to have on social media. Never. And again, he shouldn't have never allowed uh, PhD to even have that conversation. That should have been dead. If you want to talk about women autonomy, which I don't even know why men are arguing that, but hey, okay, fine. Fine. But when you talking about adding that with children, no, that's a non-starter. Again, the Houston rodeo is a classic example. Your ladies, your autonomy means absolutely nothing when people are trying to protect their kids from anything sexual. And if they think you showing titties and ass, putting it in a kid's face is going to be introducing harming them in the sexual realm, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be sent. You're going to be made to cover that shit up. And if you got a problem with it, you're not going to be able to argue that point. I don't care if you go to court. You are not about to argue that one. You will lose that one. Again, how many teachers have been fired? How many teachers got dragged? If they didn't get fired, they got dragged. You had teachers that did porn, they were fired. You had teachers where their pictures got leaked and they still lost their jobs or they had to move them. Your autonomy means when there's a potential risk of children seeing you, because in those paradigms that leads to sex. Yes, we live in a Christian culture. Sorry, you're in America. You're going by Judas Christian ethics. Yes, a lot of it's hypocritical. Yes, I understand all that, and I get it. But guess what? You live here. You're not in those European countries where it's okay. You're not in those countries. So even in some of them countries, some of them don't allow children in those parks. Some of them past 16, no, they don't let them around either. Some they're okay with it no matter how old the kid is. And as I was doing more research about this, not encouraging that, does it harm them? Does it not harm them? It depends on the child. There's some children they're okay with it. Some kids they ain't okay with it at all. You can really fuck them up introducing them to that without no conversation. So it's like, yeah, you gotta know your kid. But none of these people are gonna hear that. All they can see is there's a vagina around, or the main thing, a penis around my kid. That's a no go ever. And like I said, women's autonomy takes a backseat to children's safety. Nobody trying to hear you. Again, Houston Rodeo. They wasn't trying to hear your anonymity. They were like autonomy. All they heard, ass and titties around my kids. Hell no. And the Houston Rodeo was like, oh no, we ain't about to lose our money. Y'all gonna cover up. Either cover up, you can't come here no more. So again, why would you even have this conversation? So somebody reported Sharon. I guess they told his brother, and I guess contacted his kid. Now he won't say who. He's trying to. He won't say who. Now he letting people speculate that is Izzy Vans, which he was confronted by some dumbass because he asked Izzy Vans, but he won't ask Sharon who the fuck it was, so you can at least know, hey, it wasn't him. So you won't go on dummy missions. You about to go on a fucking dummy mission, and you don't even know who did it. Instead of asking the man who said that his family got contacted. We don't even know if his family did get contacted. He could be lying about it because he saw how it worked for Anton. As soon as Anton was saying people were talking about his daughter and his wife, and not just Corey, but other people, people backed off. Some people backed off. Some people was like, yeah. One lady was like, God damn, we thought what Corey did was bad. This woman did worse. And I'm like, God damn, you hate this man that much? It's like, God damn. And it's not like, lady, you are this prize either. Please stop. You are not that prize either. But that's what happens. You want to do this for clout. You want to go against these men so bad that you're exposing your family to bullshit. You want to win a fucking argument, well, an argument that should never have taken place on social media, especially by you as a man talking about sending kids to new beaches and that you would take them. Even you knew it was inappropriate. Why even have that conversation at all? Because you want to impress the women. Dumbass shit. Listen, the women ain't gonna get in trouble. You are, as a man. And I'll say this to any man. If you want to defend these women, have fun. But understand, there are some conversations that they might can get away with, but you can't. And if you think they're gonna protect you, no, the fuck they not. So you can keep playing these games in a way. That's why I'm like, nope, ain't no defender of these women. I defend who I want to. I will never take that title. Absolutely not. Because these women will just get on your platform, say any old crazy shit about men, about women, about children, and then you're going to get the brunt of it. It's not going to be them. It's going to be you as a man because it's your platform. Like that one, Emily Star Network, all them women going there and saying hating men. And they told Max, hey, you can't have these women up here. They gonna think you hate men. If you're trying to say we're for the community, how you gonna be for the community if you letting women just dog the men out? Well, I'm not gonna say nothing to them. Bro, you can't do shit like that. Now, if dude is straight up disrespecting the women, I have no problem you stepping in and stopping that. But you're not gonna let the women in turn disrespect the men, and you're just gonna sit there and let them do that. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. At least say what you want about Bomb. Bomb, like, listen, if you bad enough to start, you better be bad enough to take it. Cause I ain't coming to save you. I'll give Bomb that. Like, she ain't gonna protect you. If you start shit, you better be able to handle up. Cause some women want to be able to say whatever, but then when the heat come down on them, they want the host to come and save them. I'm like, that's some bullshit. That's cowardly. That's some cowardly shit. You don't get to talk shit and then you want to hide. No. You gonna get that shit talked back to you. Me? I let that shit slide. Never again. And over there, they were like, they agreed. They told Max, hey, that was fucked up. You allowed that woman to do that to him. That was out of bounds. And that dude was not insulting her or nothing. You allowed that shit to happen. He had to apologize to me. Had me come up on ladies' night and had them apologize to me. I will never let that happen again. That's bullshit. You don't do shit like that. And then you want to talk about, hey, I need men to help me with talking to the boys, and like, if you're letting women do anything to these guys and they can't say nothing, they just have to eat it. No, you're not gonna get no help. Same with your mom, you're not gonna get no help. You're not gonna get no sympathy. No, and whatever happens to you after this, you get what you get. Them women turn on you, you get what you get. I know me, I'd be like, hey, you and the women figure that out. Because I've seen this shit happen time and time again. I've seen it with the honest truth. Oh, he's going out there, he's gonna defend the women. He didn't care about the women. He didn't care at all. It was a money grab to him. And then when the women turned on him, as they should, because when it was time for him to boss up, he pussy out like a little bitch. They turned on him, and then all of a sudden, black people, he hates all black people, including the women. Never mind, before he did that turn, he was dissing them just like the manosphere was, which apparently Sharon was doing. He was Dread Sharon dissing these women, and all of a sudden he saw that has that was fizzling out, and so helping the women and defending them can get you some money. But never mind the fact that those same women don't even like you as a man because you married a white woman. So they think men like you are gay, and they don't like mixed children. Only if it's a man, a black man and a white woman. But if it's them with any other man, oh, they're okay with it. Go figure. Hypocritical. But he's just sitting there taking it. Let that make that make sense. But I understand. He's there for the clout. You know, he's hypocritical with his shit, and and he let the women talk, run game on him to have a conversation he had no business having. So hey, he get what he get. Now he's using it to create drama. He letting the guy take the blame for contacting his family, but he won't say who it was, which to me it seemed like he lying. Could he could he been contacted? Yeah. Do I believe it? No, because you would have told that shit. And since you didn't, I tend to believe he lying. He's pulling out of Anton. That's my personal opinion. Now, if it's true, he finally tells who did it, then I'll be man enough to admit I was wrong on that. But it don't look like it. He's going to use it to create drama and drag people to the show. But people like say like seeing this is some bullshit, and it just make him look like a weak dude. And which weak dudes will let women rope them into conversation that they shouldn't have. Just like they will let other men rope them into conversations that they shouldn't have. Like what happened with ARC with the whole Glenn and Cameron thing. Now, from a logical standpoint, ARC was right. Even with that story with Glenn Cameron he did not break any laws because the girl was 16 and in where they was, which is Georgia, the age of consent is 16. However, no parent is trying to hear that story. Just like the new beaches, just like women autonomy versus kids safety. Nobody's trying to hear that story. And these are conversations, again, that should not be had on social media, especially by men. You cannot have the autonomy conversation. You can't have the new beach conversation. You can't have the consent conversation. You can't have dating young girls, even if they are legal age. You can't have that conversation on social media because you're gonna look like a pedo or a weirdo. Either way you go, you're gonna look bad, and people are gonna pile on or report you. It's just the way it is. And by if you either young or older at any type of relationship, sexual or not, with a girl under the age of 18, keep that shit to yourself. Go to the grave. That should never be out here. That you should never talk about that to anybody. That should be in the grave. You will have to pry that out of my cold, dead hands. It's not happening. But they do it anyway, and then you get the consequences. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for none of the people. If you want to have these conversations, well, you should get the blowback for it. That's just my motto. But anyway, this is Brother Speak. I am going. I got to get back to work. Y'all have a good one. Peace.